the upward row. That's where you get the little definition at the top of your shoulder that you want, so that when you're wearing those sleeveless clothes in the summer playing bingo, you'll have that form that you like at the top of your arm. Now remember, ribs are lifted, abs are tight. Pull that pelvic forward a little bit. There you go. And 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Now hold it right there. Some of you will be a little bit tired, so what you want to do is start to take the weight down. It doesn't have to go to your knee. It's a motion that's done right in here. This is called the oblique. The oblique is fastened to a little muscle in your back. It's to the side, and it attaches to the abdomen that we've been talking about this whole time. As you lean to the side, you're going to take the weight and let it pull you down, but you're not going to push it down or drop it. And then as your right arm goes down, your left rib cage will pull up. As your left arm goes down, your right rib cage will pull up. So it's a force and a pull. You want to extend the pull so your oblique is getting very strong at this point. If you're finding it too easy to do the 5 pounds, you'll pick up your 10 pounds. Now, one thing I just thought about, especially if you're a little bit older and you're not used to this, you can actually do it on a stool. Or you want to take a bend into your knee, a little bit of a bend. You're still lifting up the rib cage, you're still holding in that abdomen because you want to support your back. But at the same time, you're lifting down and pulling up at the same time. Push it and push it. Okay, now we're going to stop on one side. The right side at this point, on the right side, it isn't going to have a force. You can tell that the arm stays bent. You're just lifting up. It's the left rib that's going to be pulled up by the oblique that's on the side. This left arm at this point, the left arm just holds the weight while the oblique here does all the work. So you hold that weight and 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to shift it. The left arm goes up, right arm relaxes, but you're still holding the weight. Now you want to pay attention to the opposite side. The rib pulls up, the oblique stays strong, the rib cages are lifted, your abdomen's tight, your knees are bent just a little bit. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take both those weights, start a march again. The march this time will take the weights up and on the other side of your deltoid, being careful to leave your elbows at this point a little bit lower than your shoulder. The object of this one will be to get the elbows up higher, but not at first. At first, enough for your body is just to carry that 5 pounds. When you have the 5 pounds, face them towards me, and then start to elevate them above your head to a touch. Bring them right back down. Keep that march going. It gives you a little bit more cardio. As you do a little bit more cardio, your heart rate will go up. As the heart rate goes up, that's how you burn more calories. And some of the stored fat that's on your body will be used in burning those calories. So you're doing 2 things. You're strengthening your heart muscle, which is always done just by cardio. The only way you can actually strengthen your heart muscle. And the other way would be to utilize the stored fat, which we all want to get rid of. Nobody wants any of that stored fat on your body. While we're here talking about stored fat, I want to mention that when you're eating raw vegetables before a meal, the raw vegetable being raw will take more of the stored fat and utilize it. So there are 2 ways to utilize that stored fat. Another thought, in the morning is the best time to get rid of that stored fat. If you do this form of exercise before you eat anything, the more exercise you do earlier in the morning, the more stored fat that you'll get rid of. If you start to exercise after you ate, all that blood's in the stomach already has a job. It's not going to do what you need it to do to get rid of the stored fat, but you still will get the cardio effect on your heart. So above your head is where you get the most of the blood flowing. When your hands are above your head. If this is too much for you to use a weight above your head, just put the weight down and use your fists. You can either force it up and use a little bit more muscle, or relax it and just have a motion going. Anytime your hand's over the top of your head, the blood's going to anytime your hand is over the top of your head, the blood's going to be flowing, the heart's going to rise, you're going to be having more muscle, more cardio, less fat. After we do this upward motion, you take your elbows down first, always taking your elbows down first, and go ahead and lower the weights. As you lower the weights, if you have any form of step in front of you, you can keep these weights or you can go ahead and set them down. We're going to start doing a motion going forward. Going forward and backwards, going to be using a little bit more of the ligaments and tendons in your legs. You can actually, with the weights or without the weights, push it forward. As you step up on that step, you want to step up heel first, toe down. Heel first, toe down. You want to do a couple more. There's 1 and 2, and then you change by a tap. Forward, 2. Every time your knee lifts up, you're using the hip flexor that was stretched out at the beginning of the show, and then the hip flexor will raise the leg up. Easier for you to put the heel down, toe down. As you go up on a step, the heel goes down first. As you come down off the step, the toe comes down. And as you're stepping, you're getting more cardio, so your heart's getting stronger. You're losing fat, and you're also exercising every part of your body, keeping the lubricants going to give you a range of motion that's much better for your day. You push it forward, remembering to lift your rib. Always hold that abdomen in, tuck your belly in, that's the lower ab. Your pelvic goes forward. As we do this, what we can do is use a chair as well. You can always do the same motion in a chair. If I was to sit down on a chair right now, I can remain leaving my hands up, using the deltoid, not going off the back. Sitting in a chair, if you're sitting in a chair, you would just be lifting your legs as if you were marching. So you want to lift your ab up, rib cage up, take the ab to the rear. It's holding the spine straight. Roll back your shoulders, roll them back. We're on a cool down now. We're going to start to put all of the cool down into the muscle. You want to cool down twice as long as when you were warming up. So you roll back, remembering even on a cool down, you want to lift your rib cage up. In fact, if we were going to start cooling down in the end of a class, you want to actually lift both arms up, extend them as high as you can, hold that abdomen tight, push your pelvic forward, because what you want to do for that abdomen to keep it tight and straight so it's supporting your spine and looking nice is you want to take a deep breath, raise it up. Keep it here for about 20 seconds, because now as you're starting to cool down, you'll do less of a motion. And as you're starting to cool down, the muscle itself will cool down, but you're telling it you want it to remain tall and firm. So you hold your arms up just for a few more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you slowly bring your elbows down, all the way behind your back. You're going to take your hands in a clasp position. Move your elbows towards one another, lift your shoulders, and pull down. And then keep your toes going forward. As you're cooling down, it's important not to stop right away, because if you did stop right away, the muscles pay the price. They shrink down right where they are without being stretched out. They're too tight, they'll get a little bulky, but you want to stretch them out and allow the blood to start releasing itself to a different part of the body, because the blood will flow where you put it. If you're exercising, the blood goes right to the muscle. If you're eating, the blood goes right to your stomach. Push it forward. Now, when you're ready to do this stretch and end it, you bring your elbows out first. Then you take your arms forward and you round out. You keep your toes going just to keep the blood flowing, because you're still cooling down. You push forward. Now take your back in a rounded position and push. Keeping the toes moving, keeping the blood just going down, your heart rate going down mildly. And when you're ready to stop this stretch, you'll reach up. That way, you've taken your spine and reached it up along with your abdomen. You've taken your deltoids and stretched them tall. And then you take an inhale all the way up. And as you exhale, keep your hands flat. You push your toes forward, keep your hands flat. As you come down, you start to just wave the hand a little bit with each toe. As your toe goes forward, your hand goes forward. Remember, when your hands are above your head, that's when your heart's beating the most. When your hands are below, that's when your heart's beating the least. So you always want to end a cool down with your hands below your body and going gently forward. As you're going forward, you want to now take your heel to the back. So just do a transition. Instead of forward with your fingertips, you take your fingertips and hands backwards. As you're putting your hand and your finger and your legs back behind your body, you want to be careful to leave your ribs still upward in a position, tight, pelvic tight, and your hands have the palms facing behind you so that it's more of a push. As you push behind you, you want your eye inside of your body to be pushing your heel down. As the heel's being pushed down, you're stretching out the calf. As you stretch out the calf, your heart rate is going down, metabolism slows just a little bit, and you're getting to a quiet position. But you want to make sure that all those muscles that you've been using are being stretched so that when they're finally cool and your blood's not flowing as quickly, they'll be in a lengthened position so that there will be no collective pain. The lactic acid will have been squeezed out, and you're just calming the body down at this point. And then when you have pushed your hands and your feet back, you can start to just do a little tap, release your hands, shake them out, make sure there's no tension in your fingertips, roll your shoulders up, take them down. Now just do a mild walk without even picking your foot up off the ground, just a mild walk to where your toes touching just slightly. As your toes touching slightly, take your chin down. As your chin goes down, feel the stretch on the upward part of the body from the lats on up. And then you'll raise your chin again, straight forward. As your chin is raised straight forward, what you're going to start to do is take your right ear over to the shoulder. Count to 2. 1 and 2. Then gently lift that part of your neck up and take the left ear down to its own shoulder. Stretching out all the muscles at the side of your neck and give your body a chance to cool down, elongating the muscles, and gently bring your chin back to the surface of the center and inhale up. Inhale gently. As you reach, take your right hand up with your leg, your left hand up. Now keep your feet flat on the floor, staring at the ceiling so that you get not only the stretch from your body, from the obliques you've been using, from your abdomen, but you're also stretching out the muscles of your eyes because they've probably been looking straight ahead for a long time. So you're stretching the muscles, stretching your obliques, getting your abdomen to lift. Take a tall inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now standing in place, if you were to take both of your hands against one another and reach them to the ceiling, you want to inhale, and that's what feeds the muscle, which you've just been using. So you want to feed it with air. That's what gives it the energy it needs to rest and to exercise. So during an exercise as well as during a stretch, you add air to the muscle, and that gives it food. That's its food. That's the fuel for energy, the fuel for rest. So we're going to take an inhale up. And as you exhale, you bring your hands flat down in front of you and leave your rib cage up, abdomen tight, all the way down. And exhale it out. And that's about it for that. Now, even though I'm moving my legs, I'm aware that when I'm sitting in this chair, that this body's getting a little bit older. And as seniors, we want to really take care of our spines. So you want to lift your rib cage, hold that abdomen to the back of the chair, and push your pelvic forward at the same time. Pushing your pelvic forward at the same time is going to help you to get the middle part of your abdomen, which when we get seniors, We're going to be a little bit more rounded, even if we don't like it, but I'm going to tell you how to be safe. You can be round and still be beautiful, but you want to be safe. So you want to lift up your ribs, hold that abdomen to the back of the chair, and push your pelvic forward. As we're doing this, you can pick up the 5-pound weights. You can, again, take them as a bicep curl. You position them to me when they're coming up, and push them back down in a flat position so that I can't see them right now. Senior muscles need a lot of elasticity because we've gotten a little bit older. So what you want to do is make sure that your range of motion is to the point of you want to make sure that your range of motion is to, sorry, I can't remember that word. You want to make sure that the range of motion goes up and down. The range of motion is on a contraction. The contraction of that muscle needs to pull up the weight. The contraction of that muscle also needs to push it back down. So your ribs are lifted, your abdomen's tight, pulled to the back of the chair. You're tapping your feet on the floor and bringing these quadriceps up and down. You're taking the weight up in a bicep curl and right back down. If you want to get creative, you pull it up flat, you push it down. You pull it up, and you push it down. Now, place those weights on your legs. As we get older, you want to support the lower part of your back most because there's been a lot of usage, a lot of pressure, and it's just common that some people have a lot of problems in the lower part of their back. This pulling your rib cage up and holding your abdomen is going to support that lower back. So as we're supporting it, raise your shoulders to a comfortable position, not by your ears, but to a comfortable position. As you raise your shoulders, you're going to lift that one weight to the deltoid, push it right back to the knee. Raise it up to the deltoid, push it back to the knee. Now, if you're watching and you're not a senior, you're going to be able to just hold it in the air, push it up and down, lift it up and down. But if you are a senior, you want to rest that weight on your leg and pull it up and down. Same motion. Okay, now a senior will push it to their knees. A non-senior will just hold it in the air. So this is an exercise that benefits all ages. Okay, as we pull them up, down, lift, down, your pelvic is pushed forward, your abdomen is tight, and you're marching. As you're marching, you can hold that weight on your knee and start to extend a stretch. The knees are another area as we get older that can cause us problems, but that's why we want to take the quadricep at the top of the knee and the calf at the bottom and start to exercise those. As we make those stronger, the knees are supported. As you know, there's no muscle at the side of the knee. It's all ligament and tendon. So you want to reach forward with your toe, pull it back. Reach it forward, pull it back. You still have your 5-pound weights on your knee. If you're not a senior, pick them up. If you are a senior, rest them. Either way, you're going to get the range of motion and the muscle building by the contraction and the weight of the weight. The different weights that you have on your legs should not be forcing your legs down so that you're pressing into it. It should just be gently giving you more resistance. So as you reach forward with your toe, draw it back. Reaching forward, draw it back. Now, with that weight still remaining on your quadricep, you can do it faster, as if you're marching or running. But you'll notice that as I tap my feet on the ground, I'm leaving my ankles loose. I'm not really forcing it into the ground, making a lot of noise. Just gently letting the ankle move around as well. You don't want stiff